And we got fat people. Well, morbidly obese people. And global corporations and their greed. Let's go though.
Industry needs us to eat more and more and more. And we have been. Over the last 60 years, we've completely changed our eating habits. We now eat bigger portions, we snack all day long, and we've crammed our diets full of cheap, ultra-processed food. The result is obesity for us and billions of profit for the food industry. But recently, something interesting has happened. For the first time in decades, people are eating a little less. Nothing crazy, just a shift for now. People want to be healthy, so they are exercising, they are losing weight, they are eating less. Sounds great, right? Well, not if you're the food industry. In that case, it's bad for business. So what are they doing? They're fighting back. So today we're discussing the food industry's multi-million-dollar plan to get things back on track, their new wave of healthy, ultra-processed foods, and the fact that right now they are using AI to engineer the most insanely addictive food products they've ever created. But before we get into it, let's talk about cooking real food at home with today's sponsor, HelloFresh. If you like to cook but hate meal prepping and grocery shopping, HelloFresh was made for you. The worst part about cooking to me is having to decide what to
I
make
ain't
for
never
dinner
had that
over
shit
and
before.
over and over
Bro, I
again.
gotta
And then
stop
once you've
cussing.
made a decision about what
Let's
to
skip
make,
this.
you have to make sure you have the ingredients.
Bro, I never had HelloFresh. No offense to the people that use HelloFresh and whatnot or whatever. But all I'm saying is, like, why can't you just go to the grocery store, bro? Go grab you some chicken, man. Go grab you some seasonings. Go grab you some potatoes, some broccoli, some pasta, some cheese, some milk, some butter. Go eat you a real sturdy meal. You know what I'm saying? Something that really put something in your tummy. Not some frozen or facilitated meal that was hand shipped to you or factory shipped to you. I don't know. To each his own though.
So, I'd like to kick this off by asking if you're familiar with Hot Pockets. Those little pizza pockets you pop in the microwave
Yeah.
and eat.
I used to fuck
Want a hot meal without a big deal?
out of your cat. I used to fuck them things
Yeah,
up.
those. And I'd like to ask you, would you consider them to be a health food per se? No? Okay, fair. Well, then, would you consider them to be great for weight loss? No, again, okay. Now, what if I put them in a green box, I removed exactly 30 calories, and I renamed them Lean Pockets?
Bored with the old diet lunch? Join the revolution. Lean Pockets, a revolution in speed, low calories, and a taste that's definitely not diet. Like chicken parmesan, pizza, beef and broccoli.
Join the Lean Pockets revolution.
So part of that was a commercial from 1989, which is why the Lean Pockets look particularly revolting.
Man, they had the lean cuisines back in the day. Y'all remember that? Lean cuisine. I used to be a frozen dinner fanatic. I had the banquets. I had the Hungry Mans. I had the blue ones with the penguin on there. And the wildest thing to me when I was a kid, I used to eat those things, right? And they always tasted like trash, mind you. They always tasted terrible. But I used to think to myself, like why don't it look like what's on the picture on the cover? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's where I first got trust issues from for real. Because the false advertisement was egregious back in the day.
So who the heck is buying a beef and broccoli flavored Lean Pocket? You cannot tell me that flavor had any sort of success.
That sounds
Yeah,
pretty
Lean
good.
Pockets were actually a pretty successful product. They were only discontinued in 2020. This product had a 30-year run, despite the fact that, look at this. Lean Pockets, 4 cheese pizza, 270 calories, okay?
Oh, I remember those things. Sheesh. 6 grams of fat, 270 calories, 12 grams of protein. That's not that bad. Shit.
Now, Hot Pockets, 4 cheese pizza, 280 calories.
It's not
And you
that-
can bet the Lean Pockets version was at least $1 more. But I wanted to start with this because this
she's saying they're
dumb bait
scamming.
and switch is a great example of the type of diet food that dominated the grocery stores between the late 80s and early 2000s. Like somehow the Lean Pocket thing, it worked, despite the fact that it was identical in every way, and in this case, had only 10 calories less than a regular Hot Pocket. Just a few simple changes, and we're like, okay, Lean Pocket equals diet lunch revolution. Hot Pocket equals junk food snack. We are truly too easy to do. But yeah, we as a society were in such a crash diet phase back then. Everyone wanted to be thin and lose weight, so much so that we allowed the food industry to convince us that the answer to all our health and weight loss problems was a slew of snack foods that were as useful.
I mean, she's not lying. They can sell people anything. They just putting protein on anything and telling people it's gonna make them swole. They got the magic spoon. They got yogurt really do got protein in there and whatnot. They got the protein shake yogurt though. Then they got the protein bars. I used to tear those things up, man. The Gatorade protein bar, cookies and cream. Those things kind of work though. They got they probably got protein candy. Shit.
As a diet Hot Pocket. Here are some of the most iconic examples of this that are both fun and really set up the issues we're about to discuss. Snackwell's cookies. These were fat-free and reduced fat cookies
Gross.
that had this health halo around them. They were marketed as cookies that you could still eat on a diet, or if you just wanted to be thin and healthy all around.
At Snackwell's, we like to think that snacking shouldn't just be about treating yourself, but about treating yourself well. And it shouldn't simply be about satisfying your hunger, but about satisfying your hunger for life.
Also, I watched Eyes Wide Shut for the first time while writing this.
She just watched Eyes Wide Shut. Man, if y'all ain't watched Eyes Wide Shut, that's just like what we talked about in my last video, the occult. The occult is real in this world, man. It's rife. The highest people up there in the realms of our reality dwell in that underrealm. Let's go, though. Let's see what she got to say about that. It's a great movie, though. Holiday movie. You know what I'm saying? Perfect for the Christmas times.
And boom, that's Nicole Kidman eating Snackwell's cookies. Now, these cookies were fat-free, which was a really big deal in the 90s. Back then, we thought fat makes you fat. Eat fat, eat fat. It does seem logical, but we now know that fat-free diets really don't do anything special when it comes to weight loss.
Peep the corgi.
It's mostly calories in, calories out, and 2 Snackwell's cookies have about the same amount of calories as 2 Oreos. In other words, Snackwell's cookies...
Those things are gross, bro. Snackwells. That's why that stuff's not around no more. I never understood the marshmallow on the 365-year-old cake. You know what I'm saying? It never really made sense to me. And then you got the dusty chocolate, like that coating of chocolate on whatever it used to be on used to be the dustiest version of chocolate you would ever run into, bro. It would be the dustiest piece of chocolate ever. Like, let's be honest, we all know that. Those who are around in that time period know exactly what I'm talking about. And damn, I feel old as shit just even saying that.
A completely useless product.
Jeez.
Invented to help people lose weight, but we're really just convincing them to keep eating cookies. And the people who maybe would have stopped buying cookies in order to get healthier just kept buying Snackwells instead. Next, Special K, the cereal that was just a cereal,
what's
but
good,
for some reason
Twim?
promised you could drop a pant size in 2 weeks.
Afraid swimsuit season will reflect badly on you? Get the shape that reflects the way you want to be. Kellogg's Special K. Lose that winter fat.
The idea was people were...
Man, I used to tear the Special K up, man. With the little strawberries in there, the dried strawberries. Let them get a little soft. Put some sugar in the bowl. Damn.
Supposed to replace 2/3 of their normal meals with a bowl of Special K instead.
Twin.
Possibly the dumbest diet hack I've ever heard of.
You know we
in my
got the
entire
baseball
life.
on
2
today.
bowls of sugary refined carbohydrates is the opposite of a diet hack. I don't know about you, but I'm going to be starving in 45 minutes.
Meals, 2 bowls.
I say
2
Trent
weeks.
Grisham going for a home run. Just a side note. Trent Grisham going for a home run, or Willie Adams, or they both go. It's 6 o'clock. The game starts in 2 hours. So, hey, book it.
Have Special K or Crunchy Nut for breakfast and again for lunch or dinner for 2 weeks, and you too could drop a jean size.
Yet somehow, again, we believe this whole thing. Like the food industry really had people thinking that a box of cereal had magic weight loss powers. And millions of people participated in Special K challenges where more than
Special
half
K.
of their diet was Special K. Honestly, it's kind of genius. You almost have to give them credits. I don't want to, but damn. And finally, possibly the most disturbing diet snack of all, Wow potato chips.
What?
A Pepsi product released in 1996. Actually, PepsiCo is kind of the star of the show today. We will be talking about them a lot. Wow potato chips were 0 fat and about half the calories of regular potato chips.
Pepsi own Doritos. Wow. They own Lay's too. Damn.
Because they were fried in this magical new oil called Olestra. Now, unlike Special K,
Or
Olestra
Cooks.
really was seen as a miracle at first because it couldn't be absorbed by the body, so it was 0 calories. But it tasted like normal fry oil.
Bet you can't
Top
taste the
3
difference.
rappers.
Bet I can.
Take
My
the
top
wow
3
challenge
rappers.
yourself. Bet you can't taste the difference, or it's free.
I gotta say, no cap.
Resulting in low-calorie potato
Young
chips
boy.
that were just as good as regular potato chips, offering people the chance to, quote, eat like a kid again.
No cap. YB.
Remember the simple pleasures of being a kid?
Top 3 rappers. No cap. YB and Sheesh. The third one. I'm gonna catch some slack for this shit because cuz was getting cooked and tore up and shit. But I'm gonna say Drake. Fuck it. Even though he is kind of a loser right now in the public perception. But yeah, the old Drake, the music is it lasts the test of time. It's not that bad. You said yours, Young Thug, King Von, and
They're
Playboy.
back. Now you can eat like a
Oh,
kid
yeah,
again.
that's
Introducing
alright.
new Lay's Wow potato chips. They taste just as good as regular
That's
Lay's.
different.
And because
I
they're
fuck
made with
with it.
Olean, they're half the calories and 100% fat-free.
The only problem was Olestra actually inhibited the absorption of essential vitamins and minerals and caused abdominal cramping, loose stools, and what would be later called
I've been on the
anal
country
leakage.
music
And
vibes
some
though.
people had no side effects,
Listen to
but
that shit
others
boozy.
had to be hospitalized. Hospitalized with anal leakage.
What?
So after hearing these stories, people stopped buying these chips. They got discontinued, and no one got to.
Bruh, you eating chips and now you dripping out the back door is crazy. Dripping out the back door off some Frito-Lay is insane. And that's a class action lawsuit for I need like a couple thousand for that. Like, what?
Eat like a kid again. Now, obviously, none of these products were really an attempt to help people make healthier choices. They weren't even really trying to help people lose weight. These products were about ensuring that people kept eating even when they were trying not to. It was all about sales, and sales for the food industry means people must eat. And ideally, eat more and more and more and more. And eating we have been. Since the 1960s, the amount of calories available per person has taken off like a rocket. After World War II, the food industry just kept getting more efficient, inventing cheaper, more interesting, and fun foods that Americans wanted to fit into their lifestyle. Suddenly, food was cheap, everywhere, and exciting, futuristic even. Back then, most people only ate 3 meals a day. Snacking was not a thing. It was straight up weird for people to eat outside of their 3 meals a day. But over time, as we were introduced to cheap potato chips, to soda pops, to crackers, cookies, and candies, and of course, marketing campaigns convincing us to consume these things, our food environment went through this
I need
insane
some.
shift. And as a result, we
I'm
wanted
not good with the tech
so
stuff
we
like
just
that
kept
yet.
eating. And now, as a group, we are eating roughly 1 extra meal's worth of calories every single day compared with our grandparents. And that's how the system has worked for decades. And now I know there's a lot of people watching being like, hey, F you, I don't eat more than my grandparents. But I'm
Yeah,
saying,
you can
on
send it
average,
through.
We all eat more than people of the past. Yes, even
Shit.
you. And yes,
How you
some
gonna
people
send
not.
it over?
And obviously, some people eat way, way more than people of the past. I can put myself in this camp. For 90% of my
Damn.
life, I ate well.
She used to be fat, bro. Lord, that's crazy. She used to be a little bowling ball too. Sheesh. She look good now though. That's
The average human being, and it's only been the last 7
shit.
years or so that I've gotten it under control. But every time someone like me changes
Whoa.
their eating habits, an angel dies. A bright light in the food industry goes out. I would have been what's
Whoa.
called a heavy user in the food world. I don't know if it's an intentional pun or if it just makes the most sense as a
Damn.
phrase. But companies like Coca-Cola straight up call the people who drink the most Coke heavy users. And these heavy users were a big part of their business because some customers will only drink 1 can of Coke a day, no matter how much you market to them. But other customers have almost no ceiling. So those guys, you can just keep getting those guys to consume more and more and more. So yeah, me and people like me are the food industry's best customers. Now, lucky for them, only a small percentage of us ever managed to stop eating so much. So we've never really been much of a threat until now. Because all of a sudden, for the first time, a large enough percentage of people are starting to eat less food. America is on a health kick. There is a growing trend toward healthier eating as people start to understand more about what they're consuming. We've been slowly building towards this for the last 10 or 20 years, but we just keep prioritizing health more and more as something that we want out of the food that we eat. Plus, now 20% of Americans are on a GLP-1 like Ozempic or Mounjaro or any of the other ones. So there are millions of people on this medication and they are definitely eating less. So much less that they're buying less food, they're going to restaurants less, and they're snacking less than before. And at first, the food industry really didn't care about this, but now, combined with this broader health trend, it's large enough and it's projected to grow enough that it's taking a bite out of their sales. Big Food pours millions into
Definitely about to tap in with you, bruh. You're definitely about to tap in. You see what happens.
as obesity drugs reshape U.S. demand. Diet changes linked to GLP-1 drug use could mean up to $12 billion in snack sales lost over the next decade, according to EY Parthenon estimates. So the food industry now stands to lose over $1 billion per year in snack sales. And obviously, they're not too happy about this. And as you'll see, their plans to fix this little problem might affect everyone for years and even maybe decades to come. And this topic makes me so mad because people want to be healthy. They want to avoid chronic disease. They don't want to be obese. And despite the fact that ultra-processed junk food seems to be at the heart of diet-related chronic disease, the food industry seems to be willing.
Bro, they trying to get people out of here. Them rich people not playing. Y'all need to understand that. They got the McDonald's person. The people that make McDonald's don't even let their kids eat McDonald's. The people that make iPads don't let their kids use iPads. But I digress.
To stop at nothing to cram these calories down our throats. Because anytime there's a renewed interest in health in society, the food industry steps in and does everything they possibly can to stop it from happening. And to clarify, we're not just talking about people on GLP-1s. Like I said, this is a trend that's been brewing for a long time. All of the articles about this mention the food industry shifting because of this, but I think it's bigger than this, and this is something that everything's been working toward for a long time. And anytime people try to do something good for their health, the food industry steps in and offers these solutions that are extremely problematic. So with this new health trend on the rise, what does an industry built on excess do? The food industry is currently changing things up big time. A new diet and wellness food era like the one from the 90s is on its way right now. And the industry is dumping money into revamping all its products for this new weight loss craze. You can see here we have Coca-Cola, Kraft Heinz, ConAgra, Mondelez International, General Mills, and PepsiCo are all spending just a little bit more money this year in order to revamp their products. And I am very, very curious about the products they're going to create. Right now, we're extremely early on this, and
why don't they just do what Japan does? They have like low, like if you get sweet stuff from Japan, it's not that sweet. Or like if you get like things that are packaged like chips or like, you know, already packaged snacks, the quantity is less. You know what I'm saying? The quantity is less, it's less sugar, it has less additives. So if that's like keeping them skinny, they live longer. I mean, why not try that over here? Why flood the food with a crayon box of chemicals? And you know why though.
Launched some products, but they're nothing crazy. They're nothing that interesting like the products of the 90s yet. First things first, as you've definitely already noticed, the industry has been slapping protein on everything. Protein Cheerios, protein popcorn, protein Starbucks drinks, and just announced protein Doritos. And it's
How you
actually
put protein
predicted
in
that
a
this year
popcorn?
you're going to start seeing fiber slapped on everything the same way you've been seeing protein. Now, to be completely fair, this could be a little bit helpful, right? For people who don't eat enough of these things, if you're eating a processed snack, well then, at least they have.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie. I don't even know if she gonna say this, but living in America, there's no way you're not getting your protein, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. There's no way on this planet you're not getting your protein, bro. It's hard. We got fat people that is homeless. We got homeless people that is not starving. You know what I'm saying? There's no way in America. I mean, I don't want to say there's no way on the planet, but you'd have to be like, it's hard. It's really hard, man. It's harder than you think. In Africa, somewhere in the village, you feel me, where there's dust balls rolling around and the water hole 50 miles away, then maybe. But over here, I don't think so. They throwing food out by the bundles.
A little protein, a little fiber, maybe a little, I don't know, vitamins or something. But is this anywhere near as good as just eating normal food that naturally contains these healthier attributes? No, it is not. And if you pick up one of these protein-packed foods and think that they're doing something better or equal to a more normal food, you're doing yourself a major disservice. And ultra-processed junk food, a snack food, is still a junk food, a snack food, even with lots of protein in it. And although it's not going to kill you, it's still more marketing gimmick than functionally helpful to your life. There have also been some other new inventions, such as another one from Doritos, Simply Naked, Doritos with no dyes and no artificial flavors. I personally really don't get this product.
Hey, chill. I've been tearing those things up. I got like a bag of those downstairs right now. Doritos, white cheddar. Simply Doritos white cheddar. Yeah, I was tearing those things up. They taste really good too.
By any other shade, it's still a Dorito. Changing the color of a Dorito does not make it not a Dorito. It also doesn't make it that much healthier at all. The color of the Dorito was never the major problem with the Dorito. Please don't get duped by products like this. Products like this do absolutely nothing to improve your health. You can't eat like a kid again, okay? And you don't get to count naked Doritos as a step in the right direction if you're trying to eat healthier. Also, can you tell me in the comments if you bought these, okay? Because it seemed like when it was launched, nobody cared. The launch seemed to be announced to crickets because here's how they launched it on Instagram. Yeah, with one of those 9 square grids.
I followed you back, homie.
Something that was popular in maybe like 2016 or even earlier.
They're not painting fire, low key. What the hell? I want to get me one of those and post it up, low key. I like that.
Marketing choice, okay? I haven't seen one of these in so long. I'm like, whose idea was this as your big launch for your new product? It also meant that
she'll like it.
The grids was this with the caption, "The renaissance of snacking is upon us." Comment. Sorry, what? Comment. Same reaction. Also, most of the posts got almost no interaction, except for that one for the wrong reasons. This is just the beginning though, because although it seems that a new health trend on the rise, people eating less, means inevitably dark times for the food industry, which by the way, when I say that, I just mean that they're not going to be able to post the profits that they usually do. We have a system where any sort of lesserness in a company means they're failing. So even though they can actually be doing really, really well profit-wise, they need to actually do better all the time in order to be successful in the stock market. But really, they're viewing this situation as one big fat opportunity. Weight management is a big opportunity, Nestle CEO said. I think there are more opportunities than threats, but there are both, Pepsi CEO said. So on one hand, companies do think, okay, people are eating less, there might be a problem here. Quote, consumers on GLP-1s eat 700 fewer calories a day, and they were most likely to eschew processed foods, sugar-sweetened beverages, refined grains, and beef. Only fruit, leafy greens, and water showed an overall increase in consumption, the research found. So that's the bad news for them. People are turning up their nose at ultra-processed foods, aka 80% of the food created by the industry. These guys aren't getting rich selling fruit and leafy greens, they're getting rich selling UPFs and sugar. But here's the good side for these guys, okay? It's one of these opportunities the CEOs were mentioning. While consumption of most processed and sugary foods drop when taking GLP-1s, consumers' desire for these foods does not wane. That's creating additional opportunities for food companies to support consumers' dual desires for nutrition and indulgence. In other words, people still crave junk food while on a GLP-1, they just eat less of it. And it's obviously the same with normal people on a diet. They still want the junk food, they just have to eat less of it. And this means that people are still buying these junk food snack products, these snack foods that the food industry relies on, meaning that these companies still have a chance, not just to sell to you, but to pull you back towards their products, which is where maybe this next full-on unhinged and completely evil thing comes into play. So I found this under Our Nutrition on this Reuters article that we've been discussing. I work with food scientists who are partnering with the food industry to try to increase palatability and demand for different products as people's consumption habits change due to GLP-1s. The research shows these medications not just changing how much people consume, but users moving toward less meat, more whole foods, better macros. The folks I work with are focusing on targeting and ramping up the reward response in the brain to junk and snack foods to bring people back to selecting those products. They talk a lot about...
Bro, these people evil. The FDA, the government, they're all in on this bull stuff too. This bull load, man. That's crazy. This chicken poo. It don't even make sense. Because how on earth you gonna let them do this to the people, man? If this was China, they would have had them floating in the Red Sea. But, yeah.
Helping consumers make choices that maintain profitability. In other words, in response to people eating less, the food industry is trying to make their products even more addictive. And to be fair, this is just a Reddit comment, right? This person could be making it up. It's not really a source. But the food industry has already said similar things themselves. The billion-dollar question is, how do I make someone who is not hungry eat again? Bruno Didier, head of B2B at Cook Unity Meal Delivery Service, said during a panel at the IFT First conference in Chicago earlier this month. And hey, maybe that quote is taken out of context, but we already know that the food industry designs its food products to be addictive. So it would be very par for the course for them to be adapting to these GLP-1s. Of course, they would try to do this. For the last 50 years, the industry has already been doing everything possible to keep us consuming their food. They've been pumping everything they've got into creating hyper-palatable, addictive...
But the food was already really addictive, if we're going to be totally honest, right? I mean, you rip open a bag of chips, sometimes you're already halfway through the bag. I ain't gonna lie, sometimes you finish the whole bag. I mean, I do it. I'm not holier than thou. I be tearing them things up sometimes. I remember one day, I was tearing Doritos up so much, like I messed up one of my teeth. I had to stop eating Doritos for a while. Like, I still eat Doritos. But I love the purple bag. I like the new Simply White Cheddar Nacho. I mean, this not even. Let me stop giving these people advertisement. Hey, go ahead, Frito Lay Night. They not messing with me. On a serious note, though, people just need to start eating home cooked meals, bro. Ain't nothing better than a home cooked meal. You can still have your little bull crap snacks on the sides, your little oodles and noodles, your cookies. Even cookies, bro, it's better to have a cookie made at home, you know what I'm saying? It's better to have one of those, or like a cake too. If you're going to eat anything like that, at least make it yourself so you can know what's in there. You know what I'm saying? You know what's in there. You know what you put in there. And it's going to taste way better. It's going to taste better than most of the things you could get from the store. But I'm not going to lie. Like last week, I went to this bakery. It was fantastic. The bakery was called some French words that I really don't know how to pronounce, like tous Jaus or something like that. I don't really know what that means, but it was bomb, right? I say that to say this, though. That's better than anything I'm going to get from, like, one of those already packaged sweets or anything like that. At least in America, right? So we should just, like, go back to, like, the old ways with certain things. Because, in all honesty, it's only going to get worse once these robots get here. And the robot make that finite formula to keep a human coming back, like they hit the crack. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna have crack chips, crack McDonald's. Hey y'all go check her out though. Kiana Dortry. They got the Dortrys, man. Wrecking Havoc. She good at making her videos. I fuck with her videos. I'm gonna be back tomorrow. I'm doing these every day from now on, y'all. Every day. Oh, I'm gonna try to. You feel me?